Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk to you about the R in leadership. My name is Robert Mitchell, and I wish the R standard for Robert. I wish if you went to the dictionary and you looked up the word leadership and it had the name Robert in there. Unfortunately, that's probably not true. So I want to talk about the R in leadership. It stands for results. Matter of fact, that's the first R because there's many R's in leadership. Like for instance, respect. If you're going to be a leader, you're going to need to respect people. If you don't respect people well, you're just not going to be able to lead people. Respect is a very big R in leadership. Matter of fact, I have my coaching and my teaching usually is centered around faith. So I'm a faith-based coach, I'm a faith-based leader. And so what I want to say is that the Bible says that there should be no respecters of persons. In other words, the janitor is just as important as the CEO when you respect people. So there's a lot of R's in leadership. The number one R is results. You have to know the results that you want for your team. You have to know the results that you want as a leader in order to really be effective in a leader. Matter of fact, let me say this, that in leadership, I have done a little acronym here. Leadership, the L stands for leader. That's pretty obvious. E stands for enthusiasm. I think good leaders are enthusiastic. Enthusiasm means living life with your heart, living life with energy, living life with excitement, going through the emotions of life and not just the emotions of life. And then, of course, A stands for attitude. D stands for destiny. I remember there was a minister by the name of Miles Monroe. He passed away recently in a plane crash. He said that if you want to know what the purpose of something, if you want to know what the destiny of something is, you need to find out what the manual says it's made for. You see, so what is the destiny of your team? If you're a leader, what's the destiny of your team? What's it made for? What's the purpose of the team? We need to know that. And then, of course, E is for effectiveness. The John Maxwell says that in the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, he says that your effectiveness on your team is only going to be as high as your leadership. And so, on a scale of 1 to 10 on effectiveness, your effectiveness is only going to be as high as your leadership team. So, if you're a 2 on leadership, well, I'm sorry to say that you're going to be a 2 on your effectiveness, and you're not going to get the results that you're looking for, and that's the R in leadership. S stands for significance. I love this word significance. Matter of fact, I have 5 S's when it comes to teamwork. The first S, well, it's a sponge, and you don't want to be a sponge. A sponge just takes. A sponge is just like what it says. It just takes from everybody else. Chances are a sponge is not going to be a leader, but they probably don't even have a job because they're just sponging off of the government or sponging off of the economy or sponging off their loved ones or friends and family. The only time a sponge ever gives is when they've taken so much and they're saturated and it's spoiled, and then you squeeze it out and spoiled, smelly water comes out. Did I paint a pretty bad picture? That's a sponge. Well, the next level is a sap sucker. You don't want to be a sap sucker either. You don't want to hire a sap sucker. If you're a leader, if you're a manager, the last thing you want to do is hire a sap sucker. For every customer they help, they're going to lose you 5 customers. They're going to sow dissension. They're going to cause problems. They're going to run off good employees. You don't want a sap sucker on your team. The next one is a survivor. You're probably thinking, oh, I like that. That sounds good. No, not so fast. I'm talking about a soul survivor. I'm talking about a selfish soul survivor. They only care about themselves. They don't care about the company. They don't care about the organization. They don't care about the team. They're strictly in it for themselves. You do not want these guys on your team. And then, of course, the next one is success. Finally, you say we get to be positive. Not yet. Not yet. On this success, what I'm talking about is the person wants to be successful at the expense of the team. They don't have a mastermind attitude. They don't care about the end product. They don't care about the future of the organization. They don't care about the people in the organization. They value a sale more than a salesperson. They value the sale, the money that comes from the sale more than they do their people and more than they do their actual customers. They don't care about the end product. They don't care if people are satisfied. They only want to be successful. They're the type of leaders, they become leaders usually, and they like to manipulate other people and become successful at their expense. You want to be significance. Significance is a wonderful word. When you have significance as a leader, you almost never want to retire. Your work almost becomes a ministry, a vocation, a calling, a purpose in your life. You are more interested in the outcome than you are the journey. You're more interested in the mastermind of the whole organization than you are your own personal success. So I like the word significance. That is a fantastic word. H stands for help. John Maxwell says that you should touch a heart before you ask for a hand. When you're a leader, you're in the helping business. I stands for intuition. You really want to be intuitive. That's a gift. If you don't have it, you might have to work around it. You might have to figure out a way how to overcome the fact if you don't have intuition to see talent and to see a direction that you need to take your P for people skills. I believe that 85% of our success comes from our people skills, and 15% of our success comes from our technical skills. 85 is from the practical skills, your people skills, how you deal with people. 15% comes from how you know your job or the technical side of the job. Now, let me say something here that is very interesting to me. 85% of all our training is usually technical, and only 15% is practical, or only 15% is on people skills. So we need the technical, but we have to have the people skills. The people skills is what's really going to make us terrific leaders. And I want to say this, don't be a manager, be a leader. See, managers measure growth. Leaders inspire growth. You want to inspire growth. You want to help people grow. And, you've always heard the saying about, don't point your finger at somebody, because if you point your finger at somebody, 3 are pointing back at you. And we talk about responsibility usually when we say that. You can't blame others, because when you blame others, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. Have you ever wondered about the thumb? The thumb is a very interesting thing in this whole analogy. The thumb represents the leaders. What kind of leader are you? Are you a discouraging leader? You always have your thumb down? You're a Debbie Downer? You walk in and everybody goes, oh no, here's Robert. What's he have for us today? Are you a discouraging leader? Do you have your thumb on your people? Are you always trying to put them down and have an ironclad fist and have your thumb down on people? Are you a hitchhiker? You shirk your responsibilities. Everybody has a job. Even leaders have a job. I've worked with leaders, which was amazing that they had a job to do and they let the whole team down. The leaders themselves, they thought they were too good to work, and they were basically hitchhiking, and they were freeloading in life. Don't be a freeloader. Don't be a hitchhiker. Are you thumbing your nose against the policies? See, we don't want to do that either. We want to be a standard bearer. We want to be a model. We want people to follow us as we follow the policies. The Apostle Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ. As a good leader, you want people to follow you as you're following the guidelines and the purposes and the destiny of your team. And finally, let me just say this. Are you a green thumb? Do you help people grow? Did you notice I use the same thumb all the time? See? hitchhike, a green thumb, thumb the nose. It's all in our perception. It's all in the way we look at things. I believe it's just as easy to be an encourager than a discourager. It's all on attitude. It's all on your perception. It's all on how you choose to start your day. It's all on how you choose to take care of and work with people. One of the R's in leadership is rule, the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That is a great R in leadership. All right, so the R in leadership to me means results, because you need to know what the results are for your team in order to get the results. So the results are very important. So if you had a nice big white sheet of paper like this, I would like for you to put right in the middle of the paper, why. What is the team's why? What is the purpose of the team? What's the destiny of the team? Why are you a team? Why are you the leader of the team? Why is the team even in existence? If it's an organization, if you're a leader of organization, what's the why of the organization? In other words, the Apostle Paul said, what is your calling? Each of us has a calling. Each of us has a purpose. Each of us has a race to run. What is the race of your organization? What is the why? Once you know what the why is, now the why will usually be what you do for others. Your why, your big why, is, you could say, it's your vision statement. It's what you're going to do for the world, what you're going to do for other people. So you have your why. We need to know what our why is in order to know what the results are for our team. That right underneath the why, I want you to put what. What is your team's big what? What's the purpose of the team? This could be your mission statement. Matter of fact, I want you to put what and how. What is your purpose of the team? What are you trying to accomplish? And then how are you trying to accomplish it? How are you attempting? Your what and your how is your mission statement on how you're going to do your big why, how you're going to achieve it. Then underneath that, you can put when. Now, when I say when, I don't mean W-I-N, and I don't even mean when like April or May. We're going to have this done in May. I don't mean that kind of when. What I mean by when, W-H-E-N, is when you get there, what does it look like? I'm not putting a timetable on this, although that wouldn't be a bad idea. What I'm wanting to say is, when your team is performing at the results that you want to perform at, what does that look like? Is it, if you were sports, it would be a championship team. You see, so if you're an organization, what does your win look like? When you get there, how do you know you're there? What is it going to look like when you're there? One of my favorite quotes, I guess you could call it, Diana Kokoschka, the founder of BOLD, Business Objective, A Life by Design. It's a Keller Williams training program. It's not just for realtors, it's for anybody. So if you know a Keller Williams agent, or get a hold of me and I'll help you. A couple of times a year in most cities, there's a BOLD training. It's a 1 day a week for 7 weeks training program that's 90% mindset. And Diana Kokoschka, like I said, created this training organization, and it's just fantastic. And she has what's called BOLD laws. And my favorite BOLD law is the purpose of business is to fund the perfect life. The purpose of business is to fund the perfect life. So if you're in a business, what's the purpose of your business? It's to fund your perfect life. If your life was perfect, what would it look like? I know it may never be perfect, but if it was perfect, what would it look like? If your organization was perfect, if you reached your results or your goals, what would it look like? That's your win. Do you see that? The Apostle Paul said he has not attained perfection, but he pressed on towards the mark of the high calling. He kept pressing on. And that's what I want to say to you, is that what does your win look like? If you got there, what would it look like? If it was a church, how big would the church be? How much would you have helped the community? If you're a business, how many employees would you have? If you're a service business, how many vans would you have? Do you see that? In other words, what does your win, WHEN, look like? When you're there, you can say, wow, we made it. We made it. We're here, okay? What does that look like? We need to know that. We need to know that because what we focus on expands. And then lastly is where. Where do you go once you get your big WHEN? When you arrive, now what? What are you going to do when you arrive at the destiny for the team and for the business or the organization or your church? Where do you go next? We need to know that. We need to know because that's probably your big significance. What's going to keep you going? What's going to keep you moving? Some people are goal oriented. That's fantastic. I'm more priority oriented than goals. I'm more action oriented than goals because once we reach our goals, now what? So I want to reach our goals, I want to reach our win, and then what do we do from there? So if you're going to really understand what your results are, you're going to have to know the why, the what, the hows, the wins, and the where. And then that's what you report on, which is another R. What do you report? What is your message? What are you sharing with your customers? What are you sharing with your employees? What are you sharing with your suppliers or your vendors? If you're a church or an organization, what are you sharing with your members? You see, what are you reporting about? What is your reporting on? Because if we don't know our direction, if we don't know what the results that we're looking for, if we don't know what our big why is, how are we going to share the results with people? So the most important R, well, I don't know if it's the most important R. I'm just going to say the first R in leadership is results. And that's very important. That's important. The second R is, well, role. You have a role. Fantastic. The good news is you have a role. The bad news is your role doesn't make you a leader. People follow you because they have to. You know, I'm the boss, applesauce, understand, rubber band. It's my way or the highway. If you have a position, your position doesn't make you a leader. If you're a manager doesn't make you a leader. So we want to become leaders. We want to influence. John Maxwell says that leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less, always has been and always will be. So we want to influence people. We want to help people. We want to lead people. We want to direct people so that we can get the results that we're looking for. And you remember we said that your effectiveness is only going to go as high as your leadership. So one of the R's in leadership, I guess it's the second R, is role. The first R is results. What results are you looking for? And then, of course, the next R is role. You have a role. Your role doesn't make you a leader. One thing I've learned, matter of fact, I'll just say this, that the third R is relationship. And I've already shared earlier that 85% of our success is from our people skills. So when you build relationships, John Maxwell says this, people will follow you because they want to. If you're the boss, applesauce, understand, rubber band, people follow you because they have to. When you build relationships in your life and you start in their life and you start respecting them and you're following the golden rule and you're touching a heart before you're asking for a hand and you really care about people and you're helping people and you're pouring yourself into people and you have this significance where you value people and you respect people and you want to help them and you have people skills and you know how to communicate the results that you're looking for, and you know how to, and you care about the people more than the product. You care about the people more than anything because people are the most valuable commodity on the planet. You see, and so when you build relationships with people, now they want to follow you. You can, John Maxwell says this, you can like people and not lead them. You can like people In other words, you can like people and not be a leader. You can like people and not be a leader, but you can't lead people if you don't like them. If you're not a people person and if you don't like people, you can't lead them. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Another John Maxwell quote. So think about that. Think about how when you build relationships with people, now they want to follow you. When you've invested in someone else and they feel like they're important. Mary Kay, the founder of Mary Kay, she said that everybody should have around their a sign around their chest saying MMFI, make me feel important. We should make people feel important. One reason is because they are important. People want to feel important. People want to feel like people care about them. And then when they do, they'll get behind the program. They'll get behind what you want them to do. I want to share some contrasts between what I call a low-level leader and a high-level leader or a true leader. Now, if somebody's a level 2, then that means they're only going to go to a 2 on effectiveness, okay? Here's an interesting thing. Well, let me read these first. Okay, so a low-level leader spends little or no time investing in others. A true leader spends lots of time investing in others. A low-level leader teaches systems. A high-level leader teaches people and implements systems. It's a little bit different. It's just a tiny bit different. You almost wouldn't notice it. To the untrained eye, it might not be noticeable. But low-level leaders, they want to teach systems in hope that people will work and do the things that need to be done for their benefit, for the leader's benefit. But a true leader realizes that she needs to teach people and help people and then implement systems so that people can follow the systems. Low-level leaders see people as a liability. High-level leaders see them as an asset. Low-level leaders see people as a butcher sees sheep, a lamb chop and a paycheck. A high-level leader sees people as a shepherd sees sheep. A low-level leader uses people to build their team. A high-level leader uses their team to build people. A low-level leader uses people to build their business. A true leader uses their business to build people. Low-level leaders recruit who they are, not what they want. They recruit who they are. High-level leaders recruit who they are. That's another R. I almost shared that with you a minute ago. That a true leader starts to recruit higher efficiency, higher effective people, higher achievers. Why? Because they are higher. But a low-level leader, they recruit low-level efficiency people. Why? Because we attract who we are, not what we desire. A low-level leader repels and eliminates high achievers. A high-level leader attracts high achievers. A low-level leader has high turnover. A high-level leader has high retention. Another R. You start to retain people. The higher you go as a leader, the more effective you are, and the better people you recruit, and the better people you retain. A low-level leader generally doesn't like people. A high-level leader generally likes people. What kind of leader are you? What kind of leader do you want to be? John Maxwell has a lot of books on leadership. I would just dive into some of them. 21 Irrefutable Laws, the 5 Levels of Leadership, the 17 indispicable something, 17 laws of teamwork. He's got it all. Take a look at it. There's fantastic books. I hope this message has been a help to you. I hope that you really think about who your people are and what you want to accomplish with them. Where do you want to go? What kind of team do you want to have? What kind of destiny do you want the team to have? What kind of results that you want the team to grow into? And as I said earlier, leaders, they inspire growth. They help their team members grow. They have a green thumb. They're encouragers, they encourage people. My name is Robert Mitchell. Thank you very much for listening to this message, and I hope you have a terrific day. Thank you very much.